think we're live. I think we're there. Yes, we are. We're live. We're live. We're live. We're live. Not exactly a post-game show, but this is a Monday reaction show to the Cowboys' big-time victory up in the Steel City last night, 20-17 over the Pittsburgh Steelers. This game did not end until about 12 o'clock last night, midnight. I debated about going live, but I decided against it because, for one, it was really late. Two, I know a bunch of you guys were probably asleep. Everybody has jobs. At least the majority of us have jobs out there that require us to wake up pretty early in the morning. Three, I was just dog-ass tired after that game, after the ending to that game especially. And the type of game that we saw from the Dallas Cowboys yesterday, in my opinion, was gutty. It was gutsy. It was a win that a lot of prognosticators out there, especially all the talking heads at ESPN, at Fox, at CBS, at any of the big national publications, they thought that the Cowboys were going to lose that game yesterday. I went on the record on my Sunday Sports Rush show. I predicted that the Cowboys would win 27-24. Did I get the exact score right? No, I didn't. But I did get the Cowboys winning by 3 points. So I was feeling the Cowboys all week long, man. There was something telling me that they could go into Pittsburgh and take a big punch. And they did. And they did it without Micah Parsons. They did it without DeMarcus Lawrence. They ended up doing it without Nealon for the majority of the game, right? He got hurt. They ended up doing it without Tyler Guyton for a good portion of the game. He ended up leaving with injury. The Cowboys don't have Deron Bland. The Cowboys don't have Kalen Carson right now. The Cowboys don't have Brandon Cooks. He's going to be out for 4 weeks. This is a team that is decimated by injuries. And yesterday they went out in Pittsburgh. And was it the prettiest game? Absolutely not. Hell no, it was not the prettiest game out there. But they went out there and they got the W. And I'm already seeing people. I've been seeing people the past going on 24 hours now since the Cowboys won, right? It's roughly about 20 hours since the Cowboys won. It'll be 24 by the time anybody listens to this. People are saying, but it's the Steelers. It's the Steelers. They have Justin Fields. Of course the Cowboys should win. That's not what you were saying at the beginning of the week. Cut the cap. Cut it out. Anytime the Cowboys win, the goalpost will move. The Cowboys got a hard-fought win yesterday in Pittsburgh, 20-17, against the defense that had rankings all in the top 10. A defense that had T.J. Watt. A defense that was amazing. Now, T.J. Watt did leave the game, but hey, football's a war of attrition. Guys get hurt, and yesterday the Pittsburgh Steelers lost a couple of their big guys on their defense. They lost T.J. Watt for the majority of the game. They lost their other defensive end, who was having himself a heck of a game, Nick Herberg. They lost him. But they still had some guys out there who could make plays. Now, let me get into just my reactions to the crazy win last night. I feel that win could be a crossroads moment for the Cowboys. That win gives me confidence that the Cowboys could salvage something out of this season. Now, I'm not going to say the big S word that everybody wants me to say. That game that's played in February, no, I'm not going to go there. I'm not foolish like that. I like to keep realistic expectations. That win last night puts the Cowboys at 3-2. That puts the Cowboys at 3-0 on the road. Winning on the road in the NFL is really freaking hard. The Cowboys are 3-0 right now early on in the season. They're one game back of the Commanders in the NFC East. They're up on the Eagles in the East. This win last night tells me that the Cowboys could be contenders in the sense that they could take the East again. They could make the playoffs. This could be a playoff team. You might look at last night's game and say, that was a 9-win team I saw last night. That was an 8-win team I saw last night. They had to go on the road in Pittsburgh in suboptimal conditions with an hour-and-a-half delay with multiple injuries, and they still figure out a way to win. Despite the fact that they turned the ball over 3 times, all off of the hands of Dak Prescott, by the way. We'll get to Dak here in a moment. But just my initial reactions to that win last night, that is a win that gives me confidence in this team going forward. It gives me a little bit more confidence in them facing Detroit this weekend at home. It's a win that could be a spark plug type of win. It's a crossroads type of win Because if you lose that game, you're 2-3, and you're staring Detroit in the face. And then you're staring San Francisco in the face. And then you're staring the Falcons and the Eagles and the Texans and the Commanders in the face. Those are the Cowboys' next 6 games right there. You needed this win with the teams that you're facing coming up in the next 7 weeks with a bye included. So for that, you don't apologize for winning. They don't ask how you won at the end of the season. They ask how many you won. And this was win number 3 for the Cowboys. It's the 2nd win in a row for the Dallas Cowboys. And now they move on to Detroit. If you have any thoughts on the Cowboys, let me know. Hit me up. Get it on the comments. I want your Monday reactions to the Cowboys. Who impressed you last night? What worried you last night pertaining to the Cowboys and Steelers game? How do you feel about the team going forward heading into Detroit? And just tell me your overall reactions. I want your comments. I'll get to those here in a minute. Drop them in the comment section if you'd like. I would really appreciate that. Make sure to share this video. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to do all that good stuff. Whew, boy, oh boy. Let's get to it, all right? First topic I have on hand, the Dak Prescott paradox. Dak had 3 turnovers. Dak also, despite the 3 turnovers, y'all guys are going to think I'm crazy right here. Despite the 3 turnovers, Dak Prescott played really well last night. 29 of 42, 352 yards passing, averaged about 8.4 yards per throw, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 1 fumble. He was sacked twice, strip sack fumbled on one of them. 90.6 rating, 70.1 QBR. I thought Dak played well. There was moments where Dak was looking like the accurate, short passing, intermediate passing Dak Prescott. At the half, Dak was 15 of 20 for 188. Dak looked sharp. And when you look at what happened at the end of the game, you cannot question that Dak Prescott just wanted it a tad bit more than anybody else. And I'm looking at the last portion of this game, guys. The last few plays of this game. When it was over. When the Cowboys had to drive 70 yards to get into the end zone to take the lead and eventually win the game. There was some big plays made by Dak Prescott in this drive. And I'm going to start at 3rd and 9 at the Pittsburgh 32, 1:26 left in the game. Shotgun formation. Dak Prescott passes short left to Jake Ferguson to the Pittsburgh 22 for 10 yards. First down. Next play. 1 minute and 1 second left. 1st and 10 from the Pittsburgh 22. It's a no huddle. It's shotgun. Prescott passed short left to Hunter Lupke to the Pittsburgh 4 for 18 yards. Hunter Lupke played well. Jake Ferguson played well yesterday. Go to 1st and goal from the Pittsburgh 4. Shotgun formation. Dak scrambles left. He ends up getting 1 yard short of the goal line. Out at the Pittsburgh 1, pushed out by Minkah Fitzpatrick. They replayed they reviewed it, and they determined Dak was out of bounds and that the play was reversed. He was there. Dak scrambled left to the Pittsburgh 1 for 3 yards. They thought the ball might have crossed the goal line. Could have been a fumble. It was not. Cowboys keep possession. Big play by Dak right there. Gutsy play by Dak. 2nd and goal from the Pittsburgh 1. This is where things get crazy. And this is where it showed me exactly how much Dak Prescott wanted it. And a lot of people are going to forget this moment. Of course you will. You're going to remember the touchdown pass. You'll remember the game-winning pass. But I want you to specifically remember this moment from this Pittsburgh Steelers game because this is one of the biggest moments in the entire game. This could have lost it for them. 2nd and goal from the Pittsburgh 1, 35 seconds left in the game. Dowdle up the middle, no gain. He is smacked by the linebacker Roberts. He fumbles the ball, and it's recovered by Dak Prescott at the Pittsburgh 4-yard line. Dak put his body on the line for the team, not once, but twice in the span of a couple of plays. Dives on the fumble, keeps the game alive. It's now Cowboys 3rd and goal from the Pittsburgh 4. And at this moment, I'm not sure how you felt, but I'll tell you how I felt after the fumble. I honestly thought they're not going to get it in. I thought it was over from the 4. I thought, man, here we go. They got 2 plays left. from the 4-yard line, this is going to be tough. From the 1, I thought they could bang it in 2 plays. But that fumble put them back a few yards. So it's 3rd and 4. 30 seconds left, shotgun. Dak pass incomplete, short middle to Jalen Tolbert. And that's the play where Tolbert allegedly sprained himself down there, if you know what I'm talking about. It was short, and Tolbert was open, and Dak had him. That's a pass that Dak probably wants back. Go back and watch it. Dak wasn't set. Dak might have felt some pressure coming in, might have felt the pocket collapsing, felt he had to get the ball away, didn't want to risk a sack, didn't want to risk another strip fumble, and he just kind of heaved it to Tolbert short. So now we're at 4th and goal, and we all know what happens here. 4th and goal from the 4. Pass short left to Tolbert, 4 yards. Touchdown, Cowboys. They win the game when you absolutely needed it to happen. When you needed Dak Prescott to be Superman, to be clutch, to come up in a big moment, he does it. And Jalen Tolbert makes a fantastic catch, a tough catch at that. Had to bring it in. A beautiful concept by the Cowboys with some mesh involved where Tolbert ran his route just enough to get his defender lost in between the middle of the field, snuck on through, and Dak delivers a perfect ball to Tolbert, as perfect as you could want it in a situation like that. And the Cowboys wind up winning the game 20-17. A 4th down play, guys. A 4th down play to win the game. And with that, that is Dak Prescott's 23rd game-winning drive since 2016. Tie for 5th most in the NFL. A lot of people say Dak Prescott can't come up in the clutch. I understand his downfalls in the playoffs. I get that, guys. You don't got to repeat that to me. I understand. I've been there. I've done that with you guys. But he does have that knack for coming up in some pretty big moments. And that wasn't the only 15-yard play, or long play, I should say, of the game. He also, in a previous drive, a previous touchdown for the Cowboys, took it 16 plays for 90 yards, which put the Cowboys up 13-10. So they were sustaining long drives. They were pushing it on the freaking Pittsburgh Steelers. I thought last night the Cowboys just flat out physical the Steelers in all aspects. They were getting push on them in the run. They were freaking pressuring Justin Fields. They had a nice attack on Justin Fields. They were hitting him. And the Cowboys, like I said, they were out physicaling the Pittsburgh Steelers. And who would have thought that going into Sunday night? Not a lot of you guys would have. Be honest with yourself. I don't think y'all would have thought that. Let's talk about, of course, the turnovers by Prescott, right? Let's talk about what happened. Next topic, the turnovers by Prescott. The reason we won the game is because of Dak, but the reason you almost lost the game is also because 4 was playing a little bit sloppy. And I think that's fair to say. So going to the Cowboys' 3rd possession, Cowboys drive it all the way down to the Pittsburgh 11. It's 3rd and 6. This is the last play of the first quarter. Dak is sacked at the 20, loses 9 yards. It's a split sack by Watt and Herbig. Dak fumbles. It's recovered by TJ Watt. Terrence Steele got his ass whooped. Guyton got his ass whooped. That play, I saw Guyton's full name and number just facing the TV screen. That's how bad he got whooped on that play. And Terrence Steele, God forgive him, he's going against TJ Watt almost the majority of the game. He got whooped on that play. And did Dak hold it for too long? Yes, I think he did. I think Dak was waiting for somebody to be open, just trying to wait, extend the play, trying to move away from TJ Watt's side just a little bit. Didn't work out for Prescott. So that's the first turnover. Thankfully, the Steelers don't get nothing on their next drive. They end up punting. Now, going to the interception in the second quarter that resulted in the interception in the end zone. So this is where 2nd and 4 at the Pittsburgh 15. Cowboys are in the red zone again. Cowboys are up at this point 6-3. They have a chance to go up 13-3 before the half. It's, of course, 2nd and 4. Prescott pass intended for Lamb, intercepted by Jackson at the Pittsburgh 0, right in the end zone. Jackson returns it to the 2 for 2 yards. Whose fault was that? Whose was it? Was it Lamb? Did Lamb run the correct route? Was it Prescott? Did Prescott have a miscommunication with Lamb? What was it supposed to be? I think from just watching it, right, and going back and looking at the replay, I think Dak was expecting CD to stop for a back shoulder pass, and CD never stopped. Now, at the same time, I don't think it's all on CD Lamb. I think Dak Prescott and CD Lamb, it's both their fault. They weren't on the same page, and we've seen that before, right? We've seen that happen before. Prescott had to release it before CD even got out of his break. It's just one of those things in the NFL. You got to do that, and things didn't work out. Weren't on the same page. And then you saw on the sideline where people are trying to blow this up and make this something bigger than it is. You see how people are talking. Oh, CD and Dak. Oh, my God. CD was on Dak's ass. CD was telling Dak this, and that. Professional lip readers out there, I suppose, were able to decipher that CD Lamb was saying jump ball for jump ball. Pretty much saying just throw it up. Throw it up to the corner of the end zone, and I got it. I don't think there's nothing there. I don't think there's anything there between CD and Dak. I think that's every quarterback and wide receiver in the NFL. I just think that relationship is more heightened because of the star they wear on their helmet. Let's face facts. I don't think there's anything there between those two. I think that's all just media-driven. It's all storyline-based. I don't buy that. I don't buy that they're not on the same, that they're at each other's throats all the time. I don't buy that crap. I wouldn't buy it if I was you. I just think that was a miscommunication. Now the next Dak interception, Cowboys are up 13-10. 13-10, Cowboys are up. This is the fourth quarter. I think Dak was trying to go for a kill shot here. It's 13-10. You want to go deep. You want to go over the top of the Steelers' defense. It's a first down call at that, and this is where I'm really upset at Dak because this did not need to happen. You could have had a long, sustained drive, killed some clock, made things a lot easier on yourself. Instead, Dak goes deep, intended for Tolbert, intercepted by Joey Porter Jr. at the Pittsburgh 21. Porter returns at 16 yards. He's eventually tackled by Ferguson, right? And then the following possession, the Steelers go 12 plays, 63 yards for a touchdown. So that last interception actually resulted in a touchdown, which put the Cowboys down and forced the Cowboys to go on that game-winning drive. That could have lost the game for Dallas. And imagine what we'd be saying this morning if that interception was the cause of the Cowboys' loss. We'd be going at Dak's throat right now, right? That's just how it is in the NFL. Such small margins, but I thought that Dak, I don't know. I thought some of those interceptions were pretty horrendous, and I just thought that it was just such a paradox of a game. It honestly reminded me of Tony Romo and the Buffalo Bills in 2007 Monday Night Football, where Romo threw 5 interceptions and the Cowboys still won the game, right? So Dak throws 2 picks. Dak has a fumble, but Dak still does a pretty freaking good job. And the Cowboys offense put up 400. Let me get the total number. They put up 445 yards of offense on that Pittsburgh defense. That top 10, top 5 Pittsburgh defense. The Cowboys played well. They were moving the ball at will on the Steelers. 32 minutes to 27 in time of possession and 25 first downs for the Cowboys. They played well. It's just the Jekyll and Hyde that we saw out of Dak was a little bit concerning. Let's get to some comments. I appreciate y'all being in here. Fred says DC Forel. I appreciate you, Fred. Thank you so much. Yeah, DC Forel. It's always DC Forel. Fred says Saints or Chiefs. I know they're playing right now. I really don't care who wins that game, but I think the Chiefs will win at the end. Cordero says him and CD not on good terms, it seems like. Well, I mean, I just talked about that, Cordero. I don't think that's the case. I just think that with them being Dallas Cowboys and TV producers knowing that anytime there's a little mishap between Dak and CD, that, of course, they're going to want to highlight that. They are going to be the most watched people on this Cowboys team. CD Lamb did not say anything wrong to Dak. He said, jump ball. Give me a jump ball for. They're just talking. They're competitors, man. I'm not buying this CD Lamb and Dak Prescott hate each other narrative. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Aiden, what's up, big dog? Aiden says, what I saw was 2 8-9 win looking teams slugging it out. I just said that too. Aiden says both teams still make too many mental mistakes to truly contend in the long run. Now, if Cowboys beat Lions, then there's a discussion. And that's what it's going to be, Aiden. It's never going to be good enough because the Cowboys will always have to beat the next test. They just beat the 3-1 Steelers on the road in Pittsburgh. Sunday Night Football, top 10 defense, right? Pittsburgh was supposed to wipe the floor with Dallas. And now, all of a sudden, people are not impressed. We're not impressed with what Dallas did. The narrative and the goalpost will always freaking move. And now the next test is the Detroit Lions. And now we got to see what they do against Detroit because it's never going to be good enough. People want to discredit Cowboy wins and not give them any satisfaction. The Cowboys had to manufacture a 15-yard drive to win the game in Pittsburgh. And they had to convert a 4th and goal from the 4. Not good enough. Let's see what they do against Detroit. If they beat Detroit, headline in Dallas. Cowboys, still sloppy. Let's see what they do against San Francisco. Like, it's never going to be good enough. Enjoy the wins, people. Enjoy the freaking wins that you get. The season is too short to not enjoy wins. The season is too short to be pessimistic about the team and their long-term success. I want to enjoy every freaking win that they get. I want to wallow in every freaking loss that they have. I am a fan. I'm a fanatic, and that's what I do. The Cowboys predicate how I feel week in and week out. I know. I'm crazy. I get it. But that is what it is. And there it is. Prime example. And I love you, Aiden. I love you. I'm not trying to use you as an example, but I'm seeing it everywhere. Well, it's just the Steelers. Okay, it's just the Steelers. And then next week, if they do get by the Lions, well, the Lions were sloppy, and they weren't ready for the Cowboys coming out of the bye. The Lions were rusty. Always will be an excuse when the Cowboys win a game. Rinse and repeat. Aiden goes on and says, Guyton's been very rough so far this year. BB has been fairly solid, but you don't have elite running back production. Well, let's talk about that real quick. Let's talk about how Rico Dowdle looked last night, because I felt that this was the best that we've seen out of Rico Dowdle. 20 carries, 87 yards, average 4.4 per carry, which is pretty damn good. Long run of 13, and Dowdle was also effective in the pass game. 2 receptions, 27 yards, 1 beautiful touchdown catch, sliding almost in the end zone when Dak rolled out to his right and hit Rico Dowdle. I think that the Cowboys have found running back 1, and I think Rico Dowdle needs to get the vast majority of the carries. End this running back by committee BS. It's over. This is Rico Dowdle's job. Is he an all-pro caliber running back? Of course not. Is he even a top 20 running back? Probably not. But is he decent enough to do what he did last night? Yes. I think the Cowboys can get some production out of Rico Dowdle. He runs hard. He's a physical runner. He just needs more volume. And when he got 20 carries last night, he got 87 yards and 4.4 average. Use him in the passing game as well. He doesn't hurt. Now, what did Zeke do? Zeke, 6 carries, 17 yards, 2.8 per average. That's what Zeke did. So Zeke, let's look at Zeke's total stats this year. Guess how much yards Zeke Elliott has. Just take a guess right now. How many yards total does Zeke Elliott have rushing through 5 games? 98 yards. 98 yards through 5 games on 30 carries. Averaging about 3.3 per average, which is 146 in the NFL. Zeke's washed. He's been washed. I don't know. If you bring up Dalvin Cook, you might have to consider Zeke as a cut candidate. I'm not even joking. I hate to say that, but you might have to consider Zeke as a cut candidate. Moving on. Appreciate Mark sending those 99 cents. Yeah, hey, guys, y'all can send me stars now. I could actually make a little bit of money on this. You could actually send me stars now. So if you want to send me some stars, that'd be great. Also, make sure to share, like, all that stuff. I would really, really appreciate all of that, all the support. Only going to go another minute or two here. Mark has some comments. Mark says, no running game. Dak is going to have to win every game. The passing game is going to be the reason the Cowboys win. Dowdle did okay, but does not have the breakaway ability. Yeah, okay, I'll agree with that. He's not going to hit home runs for you. Mark also says Dowdle needs to be 3 down back. He is young. He earned it. Yeah. I'm with you on that 115%, Mark. 115% on that. Now, what else can we talk about here during this game? Cowboys score 14 points in the fourth quarter, 20-17 win over the Pittsburgh Steelers. We talked Dak. We talked Dowdle. We've talked the turnovers by Dak. Is Jalen Tolbert taking over as wide receiver number 2? That's the next question I have. Is Tolbert the new wide receiver 2 of the Cowboys? Cooks is going to be out for at least another 3 weeks, right? He's on the IR. Missed last night's game. I've thought that Cooks has looked a little bit slow this year. I don't think Cooks is the Cooks that the Cowboys thought they traded for. I think Tolbert could be emerging as a solid little number 2 to pair alongside CeeDee Lamb. He had 7 receptions last night, 87 yards. Had a big play, had the game-winning touchdown, right? Had the big 42-yard play or so earlier in the game. Tolbert on the season, 20 receptions, 247, 2 touchdowns. He's averaging about 12.4 yards per reception. It's his, this is his, 22, 23. This is his 3rd year out of South Alabama. I think he could be the number 2. And I think the Cowboys going forward, I don't think you can rely on Brandon Cooks to be serviceable the way he once was. He's not that guy. He's old. He's long in the tooth. I think going forward, you go with Jalen Tolbert. You mix in Kevontae Turpin, who's had himself a pretty good year so far offensively, right? He's had a few receptions. And you rely on Jake Ferguson, right? It's CeeDee, it's Tolbert, it's Turpin, it's Ferguson, it's Dowdle, it's whoever you could find. It's Hunter Lupke catching passes out of the backfield. This is not going to be a Cowboys offense that's going to put up 45 points. This is going to be a Cowboys offense that is going to have to grind you down, that is going to have long, sustained drives, and that's going to have to win these ugly slogs of a game. That's just the way the offense is right now. This is not a high-powered offense at all. They're going to have to win the tough, ugly, gritty games, and last night check one off in that box. 20-17 over the Steelers. So I do think Turpin is probably their number 2. Last one here before I close. The injuries are definitely piling up on the Cowboys. As I mentioned earlier, Marshawn Kneeland out 4 to 6 weeks with an MCL. Luckily not out for the season, but I was looking so much to seeing him get some significant reps in the absence of DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons. So Kneeland being out 4 to 6 weeks sucks. We'll see what happens with Guyton. Steele had to slide over to left tackle. They bring in TJ Bass to fill in at guard, and I don't know, man. Guyton has struggled, but we'll see if he's going to be out for a significant amount of time and what the Cowboys plan to do going forward. I do not think you give up on the Tyler Guyton project. I don't think that's there. I think he should work his kinks out through left tackle, but you got to admit that seeing Tyler Smith at left tackle last night and TJ Bass at guard, it looked pretty damn good. If you're talking about the best 5 offensive line combination, that could possibly be it. Maybe if Steele continues to struggle, you put Guyton at right tackle where he played at Oklahoma. That's a possibility, right? So just keep your eye out on that. How did the Cowboys configure the offensive line going forward? How do they do that? So there we go. Those are all my thoughts on Cowboys and Steelers. Cowboys 20, Steelers 17. Cowboys are 3-2. And now the Detroit Lions go to Arlington, and they meet at 3:25. We got one more. I'm going to read one more in here, okay? Oh, wait, hold up. Let's go back. I want to make sure I get y'all's comments in before I end this stream, okay? Let's go to Robert. I saw Robert get in here. Appreciate you, Rob, for checking in. Rob says, I was hard on Dak all game, all night. 2 red zone turnovers and another INT. But in crunch time, he got the job done. Rob also goes on to say, I am not a Dak fan, but I give kudos to him jumping on that Dowdle fumble at the goal line, then throwing that TD to Tolbert. Also, I agree, as soon as Guyton left the game, O-line seemed to stabilize a bit. Yeah. I'm with you, Rob. Look, it's okay to be hard on quarterback one when quarterback one is making mistakes, right? I think that as a fan, you have every right to do that. We all do. Quarterback one makes mistakes. Yes, of course. We're going to be on his ass, right? You're going to be on his ass. You're going to be critical. But like you said, you gave credit when it's due, right? You gave credit when it's due when Dak and company engineered that 15-play, 70-yard drive, which led to a touchdown on 4th and 4 or 4th and goal from the 4, right? You give credit when it's due, and I appreciate that. And look, if you don't give credit when it's due, right, there's people out there who don't want to give Dak credit for anything. They want to criticize all his mistakes, but when he does well, he is not praised. That's what we call a certified hater. And there's a lot of y'all out there who will crap on Dak, this and that, but when Dak does well, when Dak wins a game, you're nowhere to be found. All of a sudden, you're not cheering for the Cowboys when Dak does well. That's what we call a hater. Don't be a hater, guys. Be a smart and logical fan like Rob, all right? Real quickly, let me get some water. All right. Whew, water's good. Let's go to Andrew. Andrew says, what's up, James? Keep doing your thing, bro. I enjoy how you keep it real with all teams. Well, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. I'm not trying to be Cowboys kiss ass. I'm not trying to be Astros kiss ass, Spurs kiss ass, Longhorns kiss ass, whichever team I should root for, right? I like to be fair, logical, and I just like to tell it like it is, man. I don't like to live in delusion, Andrew, and everybody out there. I like to be a fan. I will root for my teams. I will support my teams through thick and thin, but I will also criticize when it's necessary. And that's just the way I choose to fan. That's just the way I choose to be. So thank you, Andrew, for recognizing that. I appreciate that so much. I see you guys out here. I got to get going. Appreciate y'all for checking in with me this evening on the Cowboys Monday reaction show. Didn't get to do post-game last night. It was super late. I had to be up at 5 a.m., but I needed to get on. I needed to spill my thoughts on Cowboys and Steelers. So I appreciate y'all being in. Remember, share, like, all that stuff. I'm going to post the link to my YouTube in the comments. I will also post the audio link to the Spotify podcast in the comments as well. If you could subscribe to both of those, that would be super great. I'd be so grateful for you guys doing that. I appreciate y'all guys for riding with me, for supporting me, and I'm glad I got to come on this evening to give my thoughts and my takes on Cowboys and Steelers. And now, Cowboys are 3-2, 20-17 victory in Pittsburgh. And now, we start to focus on the Detroit Lions, who come to Arlington Sunday at 3:25. And what will be a pretty damn good NFC showdown. I could only imagine. All right, boys and girls, I'm out. James Espinosa, Sunday Sports Rush. I appreciate y'all being here with me. Like I said, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. I will talk to you guys down the road. Have a good rest of your night.